Good morning, altos. Lovely to see you. Just doing my sound checks, but I hope you're all very well. So, goodness me, lots of you waiting. 64 people, 68 people online, quarter of an hour before. That's typical altos though. Very organised, highly focused. Fabulous. So I'm just waiting for my phone to wake up. Hopefully it'll pop up in a minute. There he is. Okay, so we can hear. And do we have piano? Good, piano seems to be working alright. Alright, and let's just check the choir. Let's have a bit of the Bluebird, shall we? 2, 3. Okay, how's that sounding? Good. We have recording, we have sound, we have picture. Excellent. For some reason everyone's saying how focused they are. I can't imagine why. A concentration of altos. That's a good collective noun, isn't it? A concentration of altos. Fabulous. So let me say hello to some nice people. There's lots of you around. Hello, Gina. And hello, Jackie. Fabulous. Jackie's dealing with an ant infestation. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, we've had a few of those over the last few weeks. Maybe singing will drive the ants away. Let's hope. Let's hope. Otherwise, a kettle of boiling water usually does the trick. Hello, Liz from Solihull. Great to see you. And Helen, your back is responding to treatment. Oh, that's fabulous. Hello, Margaret near Hexham. And Brenda and Karen, all talking about how early they are. Absolutely. Karen's going to get a strong cup of coffee. She means water. Well, you know, it is first thing in the morning, Karen. So I'll forgive you a coffee as long as you also have a container of water. Both is fine. And hello, Andy in Ottawa. Great to see you. Dawn is approaching. I'm so grateful to all of you who are getting up in effectively the middle of the night to come and sing. I think that is just amazing. So thank you for that. Hello, Roz and Jane. And Brenda. Wonderful. It's 5:40 in Atlanta. Wow. Bless you, all of you. Claire from a riverbank. Claire is singing on a narrowboat in Northamptonshire. That's wonderful. Jane has evicted her cat from the comfy computer seat. Yes, I'm afraid the cat, as you know, the cat will go to wherever they find you want to sit. So my cat will lie in wait until I get up from this chair, and I'll come back less than 5 seconds later, and he will be on the chair, curled up, asleep. It's amazing. He must be here somewhere, actually, I suspect. Just lying in wait for the moment where I get up after rehearsal, and then he can... Swine cat. Okay. Hello, Christine in West Sussex. Fabulous. Hello, Eva in Bournemouth. Christine's doing some warm-up for Monday. Good idea. Excellent. Get your voice feeling nice and relaxed and warmed up. Hello, Paula in Merseyside. Jackie's saying Quanta Quale is so beautiful. It really is, isn't it? Just the most gorgeous piece. And thanks again to Patrick for all of his incredible hard work and his generosity in sharing his music with us. It's a wonderful piece. Hello, Paula. looking forward to some help with Parry. That's why I'm here, Paula. It's a great piece. Honestly, so much fun. Knew it decades ago, but forgotten and struggled to sing along this morning. Well, let's see how we get on. There's some really nice music. I don't think the alto is necessarily going to find the Bluebird particularly demanding, for reasons I will explain, but I've got an optional extra part for you, those of you that want to do it. Otherwise, it is very simple. The Parry, less so, but my goodness, what a glorious piece for an alto. Absolutely wonderful. So hello Naomi. And there's Julie. Hi Julie. Thank you so much for the tweaked versions of Quanta Qualia. Great job. Really splendid. Thank you. It's such a great team, this choir. Really appreciate it, Julie. Hello Anne, who's listening in to get a preview of a SOP rehearsal. Well, you're very, very welcome, Anne. And if we have any tenors, basses, sopranos who want to come and sit in on this rehearsal, please feel free to do so. Good morning, Vanessa and Kathy. Lots of people putting on the kettle and waiting for the sun to rise. Bless you all. Thank you. Hello, Gillian and Ethel, who last sung I Was Glad 20 years ago at the last night of the proms. Slightly different from Self-Isolation. I know what you mean. It does feel different, but there is I don't know, there's a thread running through my choral career leading up to this moment. I was talking to my wife Anna yesterday, and one of the ways in which I practiced conducting when I was at university is I would sit on my bed in my room with Zadok the Priest on CD. It was a kind of a boogie box CD player thing, big chunky headphones plugged in. And it was this Simon Preston version that we've been singing, and I would conduct along to the recording. And people said, "What are you doing? Why are you conducting along with recordings?" I said, "Well, you know, you need to get the practice. You need to make sure that you can be consistent and so on." She said, "Yeah, but you're really getting into it." I said, "Well, I'm practicing for when I'm in front of a real orchestra." And they went, "Well, you're never going to need to do that." You're never going to need to conduct along with a recording and actually get into it. I'm glad I did. It's a good experience. Oh my goodness. So, hello Rose. Vanessa says it was a big thunderstorm last night. Oh, I love a good thunderstorm. Fabulous. Hello Susanna. You realise the thing you miss most of proper capital letters focused choir practice. Very subtle, Susanna. Very subtle. Fabulous. Margaret's making bread and Inga is on her way. Sounds good. Hello, Linda. Hello, Glennis. Wonderful. Jane is asking, are the altos still my favourite? Of course. Of course. Always. Oh dear. I'm going to get so much grief now from the sopranos and the tenors. Sorry, it's true. Hello, Suzanne. Suzanne is joining us for the alto part, but we'll be here this afternoon with the sopranos. Wonderful. Excellent. Hello, Angela. Great to see you. See, there we are. Chris is going, the altos better not be his favourites. What about us? Look, you're all my favourites. You're all my favourites. That's just the way it is. I love everybody. There we go. Chris goes, as a soprano, I heard that a long stream of exclamation marks. You're all my favourites. It's like trying to choose between my children. I cannot, if my children kept saying which of us is your favourite, I'd have to give that typical parent answer. You are all both my favourites. Absolutely true. There you go. So everybody, we'll be starting in about 5 minutes. The plan is the Bluebird first, then the Parry. And as I've already said, the alto part for the Bluebird is not desperately demanding, so I'm going to give you a fun option, an upgrade, I think, for some of you. And we'll have a chance to sing it through a couple of times, as we did with Ave Maristella, and then we'll move on to that wonderful Parry. And wow, that's a great piece. Well, lots of people coming online now. Gosh. Hello, Alexandra and Joy and Cara. Cara saying, ever the diplomat. Well, I'm a conductor, Cara. Got to try and be diplomatic, I think, if you're a conductor. Sopranos have enough ego and leading lines to handle it. Oh, what have I done? What have I started? Hello, Diane. Could we switch the order of the second sectional? It's hard to focus. Okay, we've had some feedback about it. We'll have a look at we'll have a look at the timings for the third week. Right, we're trying to obviously accommodate everybody, and so thank you ever so much for your flexibility, everybody. Gillian has just come in from sunny Gascony, still wet from the pool. Now, Gina, I just want to you also said basses yesterday were your favourite. I was there. I didn't say they were my favourite. I said they were my people. I'm a bass, and when I'm amongst basses, there's a real feeling of, right, gents, let's do this now. Okay, knuckle down. And so I didn't say they were my favourite. If you go back and check, the word favourite was not used. just referring to what Cara said about being a diplomat. I refer you to my earlier statement. I think we'll find. This is why we shouldn't use the word favourite, eh? Good morning, Eleanor from Edinburgh, and Sue from Poynton. Hello, Mariana. Wonderful. Hello, Colette. Hello, Denise from Meganese. It's great to see you. I hope you're very well. Hello, Carith. Wonderful. And Maggie Nunn, great to see you. And Sally from Bridport. Have to leave early but catch up later. That's brilliant. Of course, that's fine. Hello, Lolly. Altos are always flexible, says Lolly. Quite right. Christine saying, are you saying that basses can be focused? Yes. Absolutely. I'm a bass. The number of times I've sung, turned up and been the bass soloist, and when there's a check on offer, boy, basses can really focus. Oh, bless you. Thanks, everybody. Some lovely, lovely comments there. Brenda says, I love the alto's lament. Judith, Ben, methinks he doth protest too much. Ha 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 ha. Thanks, Judith. Hello, Anne from Frinton-on-Sea. Good morning to Alison from St Albans. Fabulous. Oh, thanks, guys. Sarah, you're 2 miles away from me in Westbury. Oh, wow. How amazing. Now, I've got quite a few folks who, as I said, I've never met before, and they live very, very close. And on the other hand, I've got people who I do know who are on the other side of the world. It's the lovely thing about self-isolation choir. Wherever you are, we're always together. Okay, so we're going to get started in a few moments. Altos, 280 of you online, which is fantastic, and I'm sure many, many more watching later on. Again, a huge thank you if you are here and it is still effectively the middle of the night and you've got up specially to come and sing. That's brilliant. Thank you. It's so lovely to see everybody here. So we'll have some fun. Take it easy this morning, particularly on the parry. And yeah, let's get started, I think. Just have a quick sip of my drink. Beverly's just said, I have 70 copies of I Was Glad in my dining room from our cancelled concert. Glad to be singing it now. Bless you, Beverly. 70 copies. Well, given that we have 291 people online, I think a few people need to share. If you want a paper copy, just ask Beverly, everybody. But I think we should get started. A very good morning, Altos. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to your second rehearsal in the second week of the Self-Isolation Choir Summer School. We're having a great week so far. I was with the tenors and basses yesterday learning the parts for the Bluebird and for I Was Glad, and it's a huge delight to be able to take you through these parts today. Obviously tomorrow is a big day. We're going to meet together, all of us, first thing in the morning again, and we're going to sing through and just run through all the bits that we're going to be performing tomorrow afternoon, including Quanta Qualia. So if you could make sure that you've spent a bit of time just revising your parts with Patrick, We'd really appreciate that. Also want to take this opportunity to thank Julie Datta for her fantastic work and the support of the choir in producing some extra versions of those tracks for us. Thank you so much, Julie. That's really, really helpful and really appreciated. Of course, tomorrow afternoon we will sing all 5 of our pieces, and then we are so looking forward to playing you Ave Maristella as sung by you. And as I said the other day, I had a chance to listen to it, and the tears started streaming after about 4 bars. It is truly remarkable to hear all those voices joined together, as Mark says in his emails, apart yet always together. And I think that is the best description of this choir I've heard in, well, several days. So today we'll start in a moment with a very brief warm-up. And just to remind you, if you haven't had a chance to have a good warm-up today, and if it is first thing in the morning, then feel free to pause this stream, go and watch the warm-up video that we did first thing on Monday morning, and then come back and join in. On the other hand, if you just want to take it easy during the first few minutes of this rehearsal, then that's absolutely fine. We'll do a very brief warm-up though in a minute, a little bit of breathing, rolling shoulders around, and just getting a bit of sound into our voices before we start with the Bluebird. Can you make sure, please, altos, you have a suitable beverage on hand to rehydrate yourselves? Nice cold water is the best, but of course, if it's first thing in the morning where you are, I am absolutely fine with people drinking coffee in order to stay awake so they can be here. So let's start with a very brief warm-up. As I said, if you want a decent one, a really long one, 10-15 minutes, go and watch the earlier video we had this week. But for now, if I could invite you all, as always, to be upstanding. Thanks so much, altos. And once you're standing, could I ask you to please plant your feet, shoulders width apart, make your knees nice and soft, straighten your back, give yourself a long, long neck, and start to take some deep breaths in and out. And of course, if standing's not on the menu today, that's fine, not a problem. But if you could also straighten your back, give yourself that same long neck so that you can take the deep breath in and out. And so we're not kinking our windpipe at all, we just keep it nice and straight. It's what I tell my singing students, we call it the column of air. Starts here, and the base of it is at your diaphragm. So a long, very tall, perfectly straight column of air. Let's all take a couple of nice deep breaths in, shall we? And blow that air out. And again, nice deep breath in and blow. And one more. Tall mouth here, and breathe in and blow the air out. Wonderful. Thank you very much indeed, altos. And now just think about relaxing your shoulder muscles. Just allow the tension to start to drain away from your shoulders. Let it run down your arms, all the way down to the floor, down through the floor, and off into the world. You don't need to have any of that tension in your shoulders right now. Let it drain away. And just as you're relaxing your shoulders, take a nice deep breath. Bring your shoulders up. And as you breathe out, allow those shoulders to fall away. Very nice. Just roll them around a little bit. And then roll them back the other way. Thank you very much. Bring your shoulders up to your ears. And let them fall. Thank you very much, altos. That's great. So now if I could ask you to tilt your head over to one side, stretch those neck muscles out, and to the middle and the other side, and to the middle and forwards, please, and to the middle. And just within those 3 movements, roll your head gently around. And remember to think about relaxing as you're doing this. Wonderful. Thanks so much, altos. So let's start with a bit of humming. We'll start with that note there. Breathe whenever you like and just start with a nice rich hum. Here we go. Still humming. Ooh. Ooh. Still ooh. Still air. And ah. one more R, and thank you very much indeed. I'm going to have a little sip of drink. Excuse me. Okay, so now, back here, and just after me, please, I'm going to drop down the octave, but please stay at your pitch as we sing Ma, 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 and thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Excellent. One more. Ya, ya, ya. Wonderful. Thanks so much, altos. Great job. So let's have a look, please, at The Bluebird by Charles Villiers Stanford. And I don't know how many of you know this piece. Quite a few people who are not necessarily, I suppose, well, people who aren't British choristers may not know this work desperately well. It is a beautiful piece of music. Stanford was an Irish composer. And this piece is a secular piece. It's nothing at all to do with religion, although Stanford is probably best known for his work in the church repertoire. You may have heard of his settings of the Magnificat and Nunc Dimittis, and if you haven't, seek them out. They're absolutely beautiful. And this piece is a really interesting bit of choral writing because in many ways it is not a traditional piece of music in that it doesn't finish on a completed chord. There are all sorts of moments which sound a little bit unexpected, a little bit 20th century. And I think this is because Stanford was seeing this as an opportunity to write pretty much in an expressionistic style. And so what we have here, I want you to imagine a beautiful large painting of a scene, and the scene is a beautiful lake with hills and forests and so on surrounding it, and above the lake is a beautiful single bluebird just holding above the lake with its reflection in the water. And what Stanford is doing for us with this music is creating a choral rendition of a picture. And so it's a moment frozen in time. And if you have that in mind, I think it opens the piece up a little bit. Now, the alto part, as I was saying before we started, is not as demanding as some of the other parts. There's a lot of points in this where you just stay on a single note for the entire line. And if you sang with me for the Messiah project, or even for the Rutter project, you'll remember that composers will often use the altos as an anchor, as a point to just keep the tonic note whilst the other parts move around that anchor point. And you become almost the foundations of the harmony. And that's exactly what we've got in this piece. So the piece is in G flat major, which is a beautiful, calm and peaceful key. And we'll refer to that a little bit when we get to I Was Glad. But the tonic note is that one. And your first note is quite literally, the lake lay blue below the hill. It's simply just the one note, but it's so important. Your line is essential. Okay, so as we're singing, there's a couple of things, a couple of little tips and tricks I'll give you in order to make sure that is beautiful, that it carries well, and that it's got a very sort of satisfying feeling to it. Before that, could I ask you though, before we sing, I've kind of spoilt the first line for you slightly, but before we sing, can we just look at the words here? And the words are written by Mary Coleridge, who was the granddaughter of the poet Coleridge. And as I said yesterday, the words here I think are easily and equal to anything her grandfather wrote. They're absolutely beautiful, really evocative, and they're also they're a huge pleasure to sing. And singing, after all, is just a combination of breath and shaping of vowels and consonants. And as I say to my singing students, it's basically what we're doing is we're making air excited. That's what singing is. But at the same time, we also have lovely words. And if the words are a pleasure to say, then the singing becomes even more enjoyable. So here, if we look at this, just the combination of sounds, the lake lay blue below the hill. If we join those together, we will actually end up with a beautiful, uninterrupted line of sound. The lake lay blue below the hill. And can I ask you all to say that with me, please? We're not going to sing, we're just going to speak that first line, and I want you to just join all the sounds together so it becomes a really, I know, indulgent feeling just to say these words. Ready? After 3. 1, 2, 3. The lake lay blue below the hill. Very, very good. You might notice I'm putting in a couple of extra sounds. Lake, lay, blue. It's like there's an extra syllable in those words. It's just to allow the shape of your singing to grow. So let's try that one more time with those little extra syllables. Lake, lay, blue. Ready? 2, 3. The lake lay blue below the hill. Wonderful. So let's sing it now, please, altos. And although it is just one note on its own, don't fall into the trap of thinking it's easy. A lot of singers will think, oh, that's easy, I just sort of look out the window while I sing it. The problem is then you'll go flat. And one of the hardest things to do in singing is to sing the same note over and over and over again and keep the pitch where it needs to be. So first thing is you're going to smile with your eyes and we're going to sing The lake lay blue below the hill. And you see here, I've got my cheeks up here, I'm smiling with the eyes. This is to keep it in tune. Let's sing that together after 3. 1, 2, 3. The lake lay blue below the hill. Very, very well done. Very well done. And in case you're thinking this is a bit on the quiet side, absolutely. It's pianissimo. This entire first page is very, very quiet indeed. Okay? Now, having sung that G flat, we drop down a third to an E flat, and we stay on that note again, and we sing The lake lay blue below the hill. Sing that with me. Same rhythm, same words, just down a third. And keep it nice and quiet. Deep breath. 2, 3. The lake lay blue below the hill. Very, very good. We then drop another third and we sing Below the hill lay blue. Okay, so we've dropped another third and we stay on that note. So after 4, please. So 3, 4. Below the hill lay blue. Excellent. Now, on that word, on blue, you might notice if you're watching my mouth shape, I'm pushing my lips forward and creating a very particular sound. I want this sound. Ooh. And notice there's not a lot of buzz from my nose. I don't want that sort of slightly grating sound. I want a long channel of sound. Ooh, like a laser beam, very tightly focused. There's that word. Okay, so sing for me, please. Lay blue on that note. After 2, 1, 2. Lay blue. Excellent. Now notice we're still pianissimo. We're really, really quiet. One of the reasons I decided to start with this one today is it also doubles as a bit of a warm-up. We're now at bar 13 on page 2, altos. Cold and still, there flew a bird whose wings were palest blue. And this is a really, really lovely moment. Apart from anything else, you get to sing more than one note in a row, which makes a nice change at this point. And we sing cold and still still. Sing for me. And cold and still. Great. Now, when you sing still, it does need to still be pianissimo, but it can have a little bit more tone, because I want you to start to bring your voice out of this sort of just keeping it on one note for a while. So allow this to wake your voice up. Sing it for me one more time. Cold and still. Ready? 3, 4. Cold and still. And then this lovely moment we sing, there flew a bird whose wings were palest blue. Okay, so I'll play and sing that for you from There Flew. Listen to it again. 2, 3. Oh, sorry, I was entirely wrong notes. Listen to it again. 2, 3. There flew a bird whose wings were palest blue. Sing that with me, please, altos, from There Flew, which is your last 3 bars on page 2 with the beat before. There flew. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There flew a bird whose wings were palest blue. Great. And you can probably tell just by the shape of the melody that Stanford wants you to do something with the dynamics. And you can see, if you look, by the way, I'm sure you've already worked it out because it says it on the first page, but you're the 3rd line down here. Alto is the 3rd line down. We start to crescendo on a bird, as it were. A bird whose wings were... So wings is the sort of the peak of the mountain there, if you like. So we crescendo through bird to wings, and then we come down again to palest blue. And by the time we get down to blue, it's quiet again. Okay? So let's sing from Cold and Still to There Flew a Bird whose wings were palest blue. And we finished the first verse. Okay, cold and still. Be ready? There's your note. After 4, deep breath. 2, 3, 4. Cold and still, there flew a bird whose wings were palest blue. Excellent. Well done. Just one thing before we move on and look at the next verse. I just want to draw your attention to the notes in bar 18 on palest. And it's all very well learning this in isolation, as it were, without the rest of the choir. But if I play the chord on palest, so there's the bass there, tenor's there, there's your note, and here's the soprano note. So there's a clash. Okay, and that's entirely on purpose. It's a really nice moment. It's that chord. Okay, so when you get to that moment, I want you to really enjoy that clash. You come off the note and then join in with the soprano. So there's the tension, the release, and then the end. Okay, so when you get to palest, don't be put off by the fact there's a clash. It's not a problem. It's what we want, and really dig in. So when we come off that tension, it feels wonderful. Okay, fantastic. So we are halfway through the piece, doing very, very well, altos. We're now looking at the second verse. The sky above was blue at last. The sky beneath me, blue in blue, was blue in blue. Aren't these gorgeous words? Again, I'm going to ask you to put an extra syllable in where possible. The sky above was blue, blue, like the bear. The sky beneath me, blue in blue. Okay, this is all about just keeping the tone, keeping the pitch going all the way through. If you just sing blue, it doesn't sound as melodic and as shaped as baloo, where you get that little bit of note coming through the consonant. Now, it won't surprise you to know it's exactly the same as we did at the start. So I'll sing it for you. Follow it along. I'm going to go from the sky above was blue at last in bar 20 to the bottom of the page was blue in blue. Okay, so here we go. After 3, 2, 3. The sky above was blue at last. The sky beneath blue, was blue, blue. Okay, those same three notes, the G flat, making sure we observe all the dynamics. It is a little bit louder at the start of this second verse. It's a piano rather than pianissimo. The sky beneath me, blue in blue. Can we articulate those words really, really carefully? They should be slightly separated and slightly leaned on. And we'll look at that in just a moment. And then right down to pianissimo, and the third phrase was blue in blue. So sing with me, the sky above was blue at last. Start a little louder and give me that crescendo to was blue at last. And then come away, as written. Okay, the sky above, altos. 1, 2, 3. The sky above was blue at last. The sky beneath me, blue in blue, was blue in blue. Great. And we're now on to the last page or so. And then starting on that note we've just finished on, it's blue in blue. Same as before, sing that for me. Last bar of 3. 3, 4. Blue in blue. And then this glorious line, it caught his image as he flew. And this is why I feel this is a picture. It's a moment frozen in time. It's absolutely lovely. We now sing, it caught his image. So let's sing, it caught. Okay, so the last note of bar 33. After 3, 1, 2, 3. It caught his image. His image as he flew. So that last bit again, his image sounds like this, and 1. His image as he flew. So let's sing one more time. It caught his image. Bar 33 all the way through to bar 39. Okay, now this is mezzo forte, so it is it's quite a lot louder than we've been singing so far. And then don't forget to get quieter through as he flew at the end of that line. It caught after 3. 1, 2, 3. It caught his image. His image as he flew. Great stuff. Well done, altos. Well done. Again, there's a lovely clash to look out for in bar 38, the note on as. So, his image as he. There's 2 there on as he. So really lean into the first note of each of those, and then pull away a little bit. Okay, it's a really lovely clash. We should look forward to that. And then the flew again. Push your lips forward. Flew. And if you can make sure that note is a very clear 4 beats, so it's flew, and you'll hear the soprano note carrying on over the top. As you can see, that should be on its own. The idea is that this solo soprano line represents the Bluebird, and so we'll often have just that note suspended above silence. It's absolutely gorgeous. And so we then just finish. The lake lay blue below the hill, and this is incredibly quiet. This is pretty much the quietest thing in the entire program of the summer school. It really is. And so it is all on the one note, and it's after 3, 2, 3. The lake lay blue below the hill. Okay, and it's supposed to just disappear to nothing, quasi niente. Okay, really very, very quiet. And So just to say before we sing the whole thing, look out for opportunities to sing with emotion in this piece. It is absolutely beautiful, as I said. And having told you about this idea of it being an impressionistic or expressionistic painting even, I love the fact that it finishes on an unresolved chord. And that note just carrying on while the rest of the choir stop. And that's the end of the piece. Such a lovely little interlude. Perfect for our programme. So let's sing it through. We have time to sing it twice, particularly for those who've never sung it before. All right. So let's sing this through. Oh, I'll wake my computer up. We are joined today by the Choir of New College, Oxford, singing this one. And so your note is there. Okay, altos? So we're in after 3. Oh, actually, do hydrate yourselves, please, ladies. Sorry. Okay, so there's your note. And let's sing this after 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much, altos. Isn't that just glorious? A lovely little piece of very, very 20th century music. I think influenced quite heavily by Debussy's Prélude de l'après-midi d'enfant. A beautiful picture in music. I think we have time to sing that one more time. So please join me, please, if you wouldn't mind. Now, some people are saying they got a copy with another alto part. Ours has the 4 parts. Now, having said that I'm going to offer you an upgrade. Those of you who are first altos, if you'd like to, and if you have time this afternoon or to join in later on, you'd be very welcome to sing the soprano part. Okay, I've done a version of this where that part's actually given to alto 1, soprano 2, and then all the first sopranos sing the top line, the solo line. I'm going to offer the sopranos the option of singing either, and so I think it's only fair to offer you the opportunity to sing either as well. So if you want to come along and learn the soprano part this afternoon, it won't be the top part, I wouldn't suggest you do that one, but feel free to come and learn the second line down, as it were. The highest note in it, I think, is only a C flat, which is a B natural. So you're very welcome to do that. For now, though, let's stick to that alto part, the third line down, as we sing it one more time, and then we'll have a look at the parry. Okay, so here's your note. Let's sing together. 1, 2, 3. Bravo, altos. Thank you so much for singing that one with me. I hope you enjoyed it. I really do think, although the verses start in a, I know it's not the most exciting thing in the world, singing a note over and over again, but I hope you hear how your part really does anchor all of that harmony and set up some of the most beautiful clashes. Fab. Have fun with that one. So let's turn our attention to Parry's I Was Glad. I'm just going to get my score up here and I invite you to do the same. There we go. Now this piece, I was telling the tenors and basses yesterday, when I was 12 years old, I joined the Havering Youth Choir. And I'd never sung in 4 parts before. In fact, I'd barely really sung in 2 parts before. And the first concert we did was given at Snape Maltings, which is a concert hall closely associated with the British composer Benjamin Britten. And the programme included Zadok the Priest, and I Was Glad. And I'd never sung anything like it in my life. We learned all the parts. We were in the soprano section, so we learned the parts. I'm not entirely sure I like this. It didn't make any sense. And of course, when you heard it with everybody else, it was truly a life-changing experience. And I'm a conductor, partly because of that experience. The piece itself was written just at the turn of the 20th century for the coronation, and has been used at every coronation since. So King George and, of course, Queen Elizabeth, which is the version that we're singing today. It was also used at the wedding of Prince Harry and Kate back in 2011. And it's a setting of one of the Psalms, and the words themselves have been used at coronations since the time of James II. And Henry Purcell, the great English composer, wrote a fantastic setting of this for coronations. If you don't know it, I thoroughly recommend it. It's really jaunty and lively and jumps about a bit. And the great Dr. Boyce, also a Baroque composer, a student of Maurice Greene and so on, and a real Handel fan, he also wrote a great setting of I Was Glad. But this is the one that everybody knows and loves. It has an amazing opening, and we're going to be singing along with the organ and choir of Westminster Abbey for our performance today. After all, that was the venue and choir for which this piece was written. And having said that Zadok the Priest has one of the best introductions to any choral work ever, I firmly believe this has one of the best endings of a choral piece. It's a largely episodic work, so the material isn't really reused throughout, certainly not from the choir's point of view. It's like a showcase of everything that Parry could do. Written, well, it's clearly the work of a composer working at the absolute height of his powers, and of course writing for an incredibly important occasion. I think it's fair to say that when you're asked to write a piece for the coronation, you bring your A game, and Parry has done that. The music as it goes through, there's some really very loud singing. We're going to sing the full version with the vivats in the middle, where we all shout Vivat Regina Elizabetha, long live Queen Elizabeth. If any of you are out there are in countries for whom the Queen is not your Queen, well then I just invite you to play the role. Okay, you all get to play the role of a Queen Scholar of Westminster School, and just enjoy that. And then on page 10, just to kind of give you a little preview, I mentioned G flat major, which is the key we just sang in the Bluebird. We have a little section in G flat major right in the middle of I Was Glad. G flat major is a key that composers use when they want to write something very gentle, very peaceful, very calm. And so there is a moment of genuine peace and genuine calm in the middle of this otherwise pretty loud anthem. And when we get there, I'll point it out to you. We'll have fun with it. And then it ends with a huge crash. So we'll have lots of fun with that too. So if I could invite you to grab your scores, please make sure you're hydrated, please. Fab. So, just glancing at some of the comments. Oh, hang on. No, yeah, Pam has just pointed out I got the wrong prince. It was Prince William. Thank you. Yeah, as Anne says, I don't move in royal circles. It was Prince William and Kate, and Harry and Meghan, of course. But I Was Glad was at William's wedding. All blend into one. Anyway, so let's have a look at this fabulous piece. Now, the opening is a fanfare. You get the organ. It's really, really exciting. Lots of big organ sound, and just enjoy the sound of that. What you're listening for is this big chord. Okay, we end on a big B flat major chord there, and the choir sings this monolithic series of chords. I was glad. Okay, and one of the things I love about this is it's just that shift from B flat major to G major, which is so exciting. And guess which part gets to do the lion's share of the exciting scene there? Quite right, the altos. Okay, now on its own it sounds a little bit strange. In the context of the choir, it is the key that unlocks the entire piece. So the first 3 notes are 1, 2, I was glad. Sing that for me. 1, 2. I was glad. Great, thank you. For the purposes of that chord, altos, glad has 2 syllables. I was glad. Okay? And then we sing, glad when they said unto me. Sing that for me. And glad when they said unto me. And again for luck. And glad when they said unto me. Great. We then drop down a 4th and we sing, we will go into the house of the Lord. So let's break that up into chunks so we can learn it. So first of all, the we will go. It's just on arpeggio and we sing 1, 2. We will go. Sing that for me after 2. 1, 2. We will go. Excellent. Then it's we'll go into the house. Sing that for me. We'll go. 2, 3. We'll go into the house. One more time for luck, please, altos. 2, 3. We'll go into the house. Excellent. Now you can probably tell the note on house is a tension and release moment. So hit the first note with plenty of oomph, house, and pull away slightly for the second note. And then we just come down the scale. We sing into the house of the Lord. After 2, 1, 2, into the house of the Lord. Excellent. And just to say before we sing the whole phrase, 2 things. First of all, this is loud, okay? Parry's written this right in the powerful zone for altos, sort of B flat, C, G, F. It's a really powerful range for altos. So make sure you use your most piercing and most intense tone when you sing this, okay? Secondly, when we sing the second house, which is the bar just before B, you notice there's an accent. There's a little triangle above house. That's because we have a clash there. House. Okay, you're clashing directly with the sopranos, and I need you to really dig into that. House of the Lord. Okay, so let's sing, please. Well, let's sing the whole page. Let's go, whole 2 pages. I was glad. From the start. Are we ready? Nice deep breath. 1, 2. I was glad when they said unto me, we will go into the house of the Lord. Lovely. Well done, altos. It's a fabulous start, that one. Now, over the page, the sopranos set off. Our feet shall stand in thy gates. The tenors and basses follow along. And you come in on the 3rd bar of page 4. Okay? Our feet shall stand in thy gates, O Jerusalem, are the words. Okay, so our first line from that 3rd bar on page 4 is after 3. 1, 2, 3. Our feet shall stand in thy gates. Sing for me. 1, 2, 3. Our feet shall stand in thy gates. Very nice. Notice it starts mezzo forte, but then crescendos. So it's getting louder. Don't get too loud too quickly though, because if you just glance onto page 5, you'll see by the time we get to letter C, we should be at fortissimo. So give yourself a little way to go there. Okay, so it's our feet shall stand in thy gates, O Jerusalem. Sing that for me, O Jerusalem. Bottom of 4. 1, 2. O Jerusalem. And then from that note we climb. We sing, our feet shall stand. Our feet shall stand. Okay, so let's sing those 2. Our feet shall stand. Okay, so the first one, after 1 and 1. Our feet shall stand. Our feet shall stand. Lovely. I do like the fact he clearly knows that altos are stronger there than they are there. Particularly male altos for whom this was written, because of course this was sung by a cathedral choir and usually it's countertenors. But you really enjoy, when you go down to that C, make that a really, really rich sound. Our feet shall stand. A nice big solid sound because we're standing firm there. And then the last phrase I'll play for you now from the second bar of 5. Shall stand in thy gates, O Jerusalem. And it goes 1, 2, 3. Shall stand in thy gates, O Jerusalem. Okay, it's a really nice little moment of almost a key change. Okay, so shall stand. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Shall stand in thy gates, O Jerusalem. Fab. Let's go from the top of page 4 to there, altos. So the sopranos come in first. Our feet shall stand in thy gates, our feet shall, and our feet shall stand in thy gates, O Jerusalem. Our feet shall stand, our feet shall stand in thy gates, O Jerusalem. Fantastic. Well done. Oh, I love this piece so much. Listen, have a quick sip of drink, altos, and turn the page, please. And now let's have a look at the two choir moment. And, excuse me. If you have been to a traditional British church or cathedral that has a choir, you may have noticed that often the choir is split into two separate choirs. You have cantoris and decani that sit on either side of the church and sing. Often they sing together, but sometimes they sing against each other. This has come from the Venetian tradition, where composers such as Gabrieli wrote music for galleries in the churches in Venice, and the idea is you'd have different groups and different choirs singing against each other, singing sound against each other, antiphony, and so this is what we've got going here. Choir 1 is usually sung by the first altos, choir 2 usually sung by the second altos. I will leave it up to you, however. If you've sung the first part before and you think, I fancy singing second alto, well then sing choir 2 alto and vice versa. You're entirely welcome, or if you want to stick to your preferred part, I'm very happy for you to do that. So just to help with the layout of this page, because it is a little bit tricky, you see it says first choir in the bracket along the top left of the page, and then second choir in another bracket there. So alto 1 is the second line down in that big block, and alto 2 is the 6th line down. Okay, if you can find those and maybe mark them in just to make it a bit easier for yourselves. Some of my choristers like to use a highlighter at this point and just sort of run it along. You'd be very welcome to do that as well, of course, they're your copies. So big moment here harmonically, really, really nice. We've been in D major, and we know, many of us who've been singing together for a while, if a composer wants to write something celebratory, they'll write in the key of D, for example. So we start off with a single Jeru, but then Parry decides, no, we're going to change to a flat key. It's absolutely magical, a really lovely moment. Well, let's have a look at the individual parts first of all. So we'll look at the alto 1 part, we'll sing it through, and then we'll look at alto 2. So alto 1 in choir 1, we have a big D major chord, you'll be pleased to hear. Okay, your note is there. And so your line from the top of 6, I'll sing you the first line, Jerusalem is builded. It goes, and 1. Jerusalem is builded. Okay, really, really nice. Very simple line. It's basically climbing from an F sharp to a G to an A. That's all it is. It's going up the scale. But one thing to note before we sing it, do you notice the notes are going across the bar line? And what Harry wants us to do is to grow through the notes across the bar line, because on the left-hand side of the bar line, when you start the note, it doesn't clash. But after the bar line, it does. So he's setting these notes up. Here's a note, now it clashes, it resolves, and now it clashes and it resolves. It's a really, really lovely bit of writing. So I'm going to invite you all to really enjoy this, sing through and across the bar line, get louder through it, and enjoy every minute. So starting on that note there, from the top of 6, alto 1 and 1. Jerusalem is builded. Excellent. Then we sing as a city. Okay, just on the one note, like a trumpet. Okay, so it's just as a city. Sing that with me after 1 and 1. As a city. Excellent. Obviously, the first note of city is the important one. Make the T, as it were, make it a little bit lighter. Okay, after 1, 3, 4, 1. As a city. And then we sing. That is at unity. Okay, and we're going to crescendo. That is at unity. Sing with me after 1 and. That is at unity. And then we sing up the scale. In itself. So sing that for me, and 1. In itself. Very, very good indeed, altos. So let's sing choir 1 altos from the top of page 6 to the bottom of page 7. There's your notes. Can you roll your R's, please, on Jerusalem? I'm sure you can. Okay, here we go. Nice deep breath. 3, 4, 1. Jerusalem is builded as a city, and 1. That is at unity, and 1. In itself. Sorry, I'll get carried away. Such a nice thing to play. Okay, excellent. So that is choir 1 and choir 2. Now, this is a lower part, and there is more to be done with choir 2. You're the foundations over which choir 1 are basically playing fanfares. Okay, so if choir 1 are the brass section, and they do have some quite sort of brassy writing, we're the strings here. Okay, so long, very sustained lines. Okay, if you've ever played a stringed instrument, you know it's all about keeping the bow movements smooth. It's about creating just the right amount of friction between the bow and the string. Same here. We want. So I'll sing you the whole line. In fact, I'll go through pages 6 and 7, and just so you can get a sense of what we're going to do, and we'll break it down then. And as I say, keep it really sustained. So it's 1, 2, 3. Jerusalem is builded as a city, is builded as a city, and that is at unity in itself. Okay, you can hear it's different, very different from choir 1. Much more about pushing through the notes, creating a lovely long line, growing to those moments of tension and release, and really just having a good time. Yeah, the alto 2, I think, is a much more sustained sing. It's got a nice C in it. We haven't gotten to sing one of those yet. So let's sing together. Let's do the first phrase. Jerusalem is builded. So it goes like this. 1, 2, 3. Jerusalem is builded. Sing for me. Jerusalem is builded. Excellent. And then is builded as a city. With me. Is builded as a city. Yeah, do that for me one more time and grow towards city. 1, 2, 3. Is builded as a city. Very nice. And then from that note again. Is builded as a city. Sing with me. 1, 2, 3. Is builded as a city. Excellent. Now, on a C, and this is loud. This is fortissimo. So it's that is at unity in itself. Big sound, okay? From that is at unity, take a deep breath, and that is at unity in itself. There we go. Well done. Pardon me, ran out of air. Such a great piece. So let's sing, please, from the top of 6, choir 2, altos this time. Okay, when you sing this with the full choir in a few minutes' time, it'll all make sense, and my goodness, what lovely music this is. Sing for me, please. Second altos, nice deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Jerusalem is builded as a city, is builded as a city. 3, 4, 1. That is at unity in itself. There we are. Okay, so having said the piece is episodic and there's not a lot of music passed around, the consistent part is the organ. That has that little tune, da 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 da, keeps coming back in between, and he treats it slightly differently each time, and it's all building to the very last one at the end. So now, very excited to say that we're going to sing pages 8 and 9. Quite often when you perform this piece, it cuts partway through page 8 and jumps straight ahead to page 10. Many recordings do this as well. The reason is that the vivats aren't always sung. They're not always necessary. The Queen isn't necessarily always in attendance when you perform the work. But we're going to sing the vivats because they're great fun. And this is a shout, Vivat Regina Elizabetha. And I appreciate those of you out there who are Latin scholars might say that's not how you say those words in Latin. We are using a particular variant of Latin called Anglicised Church Latin. It's a thing, you can look it up. And this is how we sing Latin in British cathedrals. Vivat Regina Elizabetha. Okay, not Elizabeta, Elizabetha. Vivat, vivat, vivat. There is quite an animated organ sect that builds to this. At letter E. It's like a clarion call, calling everybody. And then you have 2 big chords. Okay, and now we sing Vivat Regina, Vivat Regina Elizabetha, Vivat, vivat, vivat. Okay, now normally it's just the tenors and basses that get to do that bit, but I'd love you to join in if you would, please, altos. Okay, so let's all sing Vivat Regina, rolling your R's, please. After 4, 3, 4. Vivat Regina. 3, 4. Vivat Regina Elizabetha. 3, 4. Vivat and vivat and vivat. Excellent. So you'll notice that is pretty much unaccompanied. It's just a shout of praise, and you hear it when we sing along with the choir. It's Westminster Abbey, and the organ that you will hear the echo of these voices. I think it's a 12-second echo in Westminster Abbey, It's absolutely amazing. It's not quite as good as St Paul's, which has a 15-second echo, but it's still pretty good. So those voices will sort of echo away. And then we have a big chord, and we are then at the top of page 9, it says full choir. And so here we're going to sing this. From full choir it goes, Vivat Regina, Vivat Regina Elizabetha. Okay, sing that for me. 3, 4. Vivat Regina, Vivat Regina Elizabetha. Excellent, excellent. Now, you have an option here. I'm going to give you the option. Parry wants you to go, Vivat. I can't sing up that high. Vivat, 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 Vivat. I'll be very happy if you sing Vivat, 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 going to the lower E rather than the upper E. Top altos, alto 1, that E should be within your range, singing fortissimo and belting it. Absolutely brilliant. But those of you second altos who are kind of going, no, I'm not going up there. Sing the lower note, okay? And just notice before we sing that little section, the vivats at the end of the full choir section are on the 2nd and 4th beat rather than on the 1st and 3rd. And the effect is 1, vivat, 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 vivat. Okay, so it's chunk, vivat, chunk, vivat, chunk, vivat. Okay, so I'll sing for you, or with you, if you'd like to sing with me from full choir at the top of 9, just so we get a sense of how this one goes. Okay, after 4, 2, 3, 4. Vivat Regina, Vivat Regina Elizabetha. Vivat, 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 Vivat. Well done. You can, of course, go Vivat if you want to. Okay, super. So that's the Vivats. It's extremely exciting. A proper big shout there. As I say, it's usually cut, but here in the Self-Isolation Choir, we want to give you the full experience of singing along. And speaking of which, if you turn over the page, please, to G, you come to a part that means a huge amount to me, this semi-chorus. I was thinking last night, I taught it to the tenors and basses yesterday, and as I was singing along with the basses, I remembered a couple of dear friends of mine with whom I sang this, who aren't with us anymore. One particular chap, a Norwegian chap called Erland, who was a huge influence and a huge friend. He sang tenor and I sang bass in the semi-chorus for this. And you know, when you get to sing semi-chorus in a large choral work, it's not quite as stressful as being a soloist, because you get to be part of a team. But it's a little moment of, okay, well, I've got to sing this semi-chorus in a minute. When you get to the end of it, I'm sure many of you have done this before, you have this sudden wave of relief, and then everything that follows is just wonderful and golden. Well, I'm going to give you all the opportunity to learn and to sing the semi-chorus for I Was Glad at this point. When we sing along with the recording, it will be a solo voice on the recording. So as far as we're concerned, at this point, the rest of the Self-Isolation Choir is stopping, and it's only you. Okay? You get to be the semi-chorus in I Was Glad. And you get to be part of that team. Now, I don't want you to be worried about it, okay? Because you're part of a team of 2. The singer from Westminster Abbey Choir and yourself. So if anything goes wrong, they'll carry with a can. But I want you to get that little frisson of, I get to sing the semi-chorus, and it will make the last 2 pages just sublime. Because the relief of having finished the semi-chorus will be huge. The other thing to point out is this is in G-flat major, as I've already said. So the Bluebird is in the same key for that lovely sense of stillness and peace. And Parry knows what he's doing. He's brought us into the key of G major. And we have this lovely little interlude. And then we sing, "Oh, pray for the peace of Jerusalem." And your line goes, after 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love thee. 2, 3. Oh, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love Okay, let's take that to bits and look at that in chunks, but when it's all strung together, it's like the second violin part in a string quartet. It's a really gorgeous piece to sing. So let's sing the first line, "Oh, pray for the peace of Jerusalem," and we'll stop on the first or the last note of lem, okay? So your line is 1, 2, 3. Oh, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Sing that with me. 1, 2, 3. Oh, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Wonderful. You can probably hear in my voice as I'm going up to that B flat, because it's a slightly longer note and it's in that lovely sort of Goldilocks zone, not too high, not too low. I'm pushing my voice a little bit and growing out of the texture. Please do that as well. Sing it with me one more time. Oh, pray. 1, 2, 3. Oh, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Great, well done. And then, "They shall prosper that love thee." Okay, the only thing with there is just to notice the note on prosper, the spur is 2 beats. So, "They shall prosper that love thee." Okay? Sing that with me, please, altos. After 1 and 1. "They shall prosper that love thee." Fab. Now I know that's low. Open your mouth nice and wide. "That love thee." And make it a really lovely, rich sound. From the beginning of the page. Oh, pray. 1, 2, 3. Oh, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love thee. Great. Thank you. So now the second half of that. Oh, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Let's do this next line. Okay, so I'll sing you this line. Oh, pray. 2, 3. Oh, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Sing that with me, please, altos. 2, 3. Oh, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Excellent. Now there's a little crescendo here for the last couple of bars. We bring this line out of the texture. We go 1. "They shall prosper that love thee." Okay, the "they shall prosper" is a loud moment. He's given you a little crescendo and a little diminuendo. He wants that note to come out of the texture. So sing "they shall prosper" on that last 2 notes on 2 bars rather on page 10. After 1 and 1. "They shall prosper that love thee." Excellent. So let's sing the semi-chorus, please, from letter G, or the bar after G. Oh, pray. Nice deep breath, please, altos. 2, 3. Oh, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love thee. 2, 3. Oh, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love thee. Well done. Well done. Enjoy that moment. Okay? If you've never gotten to sing in a semi-chorus before, have fun with that. Okay, so now we're on to the last 2 pages, altos. We're doing really well. We have time, and we're going to sing this through twice. And I'll sing with choir 1 in the first time and choir 2 in the second time through. So now we have "Peace be within thy walls and plenteousness within thy palaces." And it's such an amazing moment. We start, despite there being this feeling of, oh, we're in F major, we're heading home, because F major is the dominant chord of B flat, which is the key that the piece is in. So it's got a sense of we're on our way home, but Parry gives us a moment of exquisite peace. Okay, so we get this. Peace be within thy walls. Okay, so that first chord on peace is just a beautiful moment of just peace, of absolute quiet and stillness. So it's there. Okay, sing that for me. It's a 4-beat note on peace. 1, 2, peace. And then we sing, peace be within thy walls. Sing for me. And peace be within thy walls. Okay, so we then have 4 beats off are the sopranos and tenors. And plenteousness. Now you answer the sopranos. You sing, and plenteousness. Sing for me. 1, 2, excuse me, sorry. Slight swallowing issue there. Let me just have a drink. Pardon me. Sorry, altos. Let's try that one more time. 1, 2, 3. And plenteousness. Over the page onto the last page, we have a beat to get to take a breath, and it's 1 plenteousness. A little bit tricky just to come out of nowhere, so that might take a bit of practice. So after 1 and plenteousness, and then we're up to allargando at K, and it's plenteousness within thy palaces. Sing that for me from K. Plenteousness within thy palaces. Great, and then it's and plenteousness. Sing that for me. And plenteousness again. And plenteousness. And then the last phrase is within thy palaces. So within, 1, 2, 3, within thy palaces. Okay. What we're going to do, altos, we're going to sing it through twice, all the way through, with the organ and choir of Westminster Abbey. I will sing along both times. I'll sing along with choir 1 the first time, choir 2 the second time. Have fun. If you've never sung this before, you'd be forgiven for, during the first time, being slightly overwhelmed by everything that's going on. There's a lot of sound. There's a big wall of sound pretty much throughout. But by the second time, hopefully it'll be a bit more familiar. Listen to it, get to know it. Obviously tomorrow morning we'll sing it through again, and tomorrow afternoon it's the last piece in our programme, although there will be a bit of a special encore, which I'm sure we will know about. So let's enjoy I Was Glad When They Said Unto Me by Parry. Take it away, the choir and organ of Westminster Abbey. And sopranos. Then the tenors, basses. 1 and Jerusalem is builded as a city that is at unity. Letter E. Deep breath.
Vivat Regina, Vivat Regina Elizabetha, Vivat, Vivat, Vivat.
Everybody.
Vivat Regina, Vivat Regina Elizabetha, Vivat, 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 Vivat.
Now letter G. Time for the semi-chorus. Deep breath. 2, 3. Oh, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love thee. Oh, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love thee. There's your note. Peace. Deep breath. Peace be within thy walls, and plenteousness, plenteousness within thy palaces, and plenteousness within thy palaces. Altos. How was that? Such a fantastic piece. Do you see what I mean about all those episodes? They're sort of chained together and joined by the common thread of the organ. And of course, what a fantastic sound the organ of Westminster Abbey makes. Well, look, we have time to sing it one more time before we break for the day. So I will sing that. We'll sing that again. I'll sing Choir 2 this time, and for those of you that have never sung it before, hopefully this time through it should be a little bit more familiar. How's everybody doing? Great stuff. So let's have one more sing, and then of course I'll see you tomorrow. Having said that, if you're around this afternoon, you want to come and sit in with the sopranos, I'm sure they'd love to see you. They're very friendly. Okay, from the beginning, here we go. Second time, here we go. I'm going to sing Choir 2 this time.
Jerusalem is builded as a city, is builded as a city that is at your Vivat, vivat.
Deep breath.
Oh, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love thee. Oh, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love thee. Peace. Peace be within thy walls, and plenteousness, plenteousness within thy palaces, and plenteousness within thy palaces.
And as the strains of I Was Glad echo through the wonderful halls of Westminster Abbey, we bring our rehearsal to a close. Thank you so much, altos, for being with me this morning. Thanks as always for your wonderful, wonderful singing, for your wonderful friendship in the comments. It's so lovely to work with you. So look, I'll see you tomorrow morning for a full sing through with everybody. Please have a good look at Quanta Qualia between now and then, because we will be spending some time on that tomorrow before we sing it all together on Friday afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon is a very special event. Obviously, we're going to be singing all 5 of our pieces and hearing our version, your version, of Ave Maris Stella. So the performance will be at 3:30. If you'd like to invite people to come along, you're very welcome to. And we'll have a cup of tea afterwards, a little bit of cake as last time, as it is an afternoon concert. In the meantime, thanks again. Great to see you. If you want to come along this afternoon and sing with the sopranos, you are, of course, very welcome to. But otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow, altos. Great job. Well done. See you tomorrow. Bye.